Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, then you're ready.
Alphabet Mafia, we have a queer emergency. Watch this. And I'm not talking about the adults celebrating pride at the school. I'm talking about the other humans saying that that is grooming and indoctrination. That's literally just a moment to say, hey, queer kids that already exist, we see you, we acknowledge you, this is safe. And that's not instruction. So you've made it clear. You don't want your kids to know about us until you deem us age appropriate. We're age appropriate out of the womb.
Non-binary is not just thin masculinity. Non-binary is also fat femininity. Always has been, always will be. There is literally no wrong way to be non-binary. And that's that on that, baddie.
A 4-year-old child who was born female at birth announces their transition at this.
The only reason this is viral, the only reason that people care about this is because they have been inflamed by people to believe that this family is giving their child hormones. Also, I'm coming to you live from my childhood bedroom, and I am off of my hiatus. Woohoo! I just had to yell at the transphobes. Anyway, here we go. No one, and I mean no one, is giving a 4-year-old child hormones. This family is letting their child explore their gender identity at a young age. And you know what? A lot of children do this anyway. Because gender is what? A construct. Whether or not you are supporting of your child is going to explore their gender identity. And even if they end up coming out later in life, they did the exploration when they were a kid. The difference here is that this family is supporting them through that process, which is new. Our society is built on this structured binary. Families have these godforsaken gender reveal parties. Before the child is born, people are looking at microscopic pictures of their child, trying to dissect whether or not that's a penis or not. People are telling their kids that they're gonna start dating their best friend's kid while in uterus. So not many people have gotten to this point. And it is a wonderful thing for this child that they have a family willing to explore this with them. Because even if this kid decides that they are not trans, this family will accept them. And they'll have access to the love and care that so many people don't have. And once again, let's go back to the fact that they are not providing them with hormones. If anything, a child would be provided with puberty blockers, which again, are not harmful. They are not hormones, they do not change any aspect of your body. That's exactly what they don't do. They block hormones. Wow! Ha! Hormone blockers have been used on cisgendered children for decades. They are used so that someone has the time to understand who they are, and so that they don't begin the process of puberty before they understand that. And then once they understand that, they can put them onto the proper hormones or just stop taking them. All while talking to a mental health professional. The transphobes who are against this are always talking about how they need to have their parental rights protected, and how all they want is parental rights for their own children. And to not be groomed by the 2S LGBTQIA. But girl, where are these people's parental rights? You're mad about this family's personal decision to let their family explore their gender identity. It's almost like it's not about parental rights and it's about not liking trans people. Until you stop picking out your child's wedding dress before they're even outside of a stomach, maybe we shouldn't be throwing the grooming stone around, because the grooming is coming from inside the house.
I want to hear what y'all think. Please watch this video to the end because I want to know your opinion. Am I wrong completely? Am I right? Do you agree, disagree, have things to add? This is an interactive video. So this is a good question. What is wrong with the word? Why is it that Black creators such as myself are being mass reported and banned for saying the word? I think palm-colored people get so offended over being called white because it others them. White supremacy teaches us that white is the default. Taylor Swift isn't a white singer, she's just a singer. He's not a white artist, he's just an artist. They're not a white business owner, they're just a regular business owner. Reminding them that they are not the default really stresses them out, to the point where they have turned the word white into a literal slur. To the point where now we have to go like this to talk about them, otherwise we get harassed and banned. Let me give you an example that's gonna add even more context. So I was mass reported, banned, harassed, called racial homophobic slurs nonstop because I said this. Let me put it in white people terms so y'all can understand. I then proceeded to say things like okie dokie, beat it pal, common people phrases. The fact that I specified that they were phrases is what set them off, because again, to them, being called white is literally like a slur, a hate crime. The amount of stitches I got of angry people being like, white people terms, that's the most racist thing I have ever heard. And people were like, yo, you got banned and harassed over an okie dokie? Like, people are so sensitive. Yes, but let's start talking about why they're so sensitive to that. When I said people terms instead of just terms, it othered them. And it made them think, oh, is she suggesting that there are certain things that people say? No, that's not true, because we are the default. The things that we say, everyone says. The things that we do, everyone does. How dare she suggest that we're different from anyone else in any way, shape, or form, because we are the default. And that is their definition of racism. That is their definition of oppression. Being taken from up here and being put down here at the same level as everyone else freaks them out. They're like, whoa, 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 no, we are supposed to be superior. And a lot of them would never say that out loud, but that's where the fragility comes from. Also, one of my mutuals, Crystal Crave, said something really important about this. She said, if someone calls me black, I am proud of that. I am like, yes, absolutely, I am black. Say it again. Because there is pride in blackness. There is resilience, perseverance, love, nature in blackness, especially from a historical standpoint. When we look at whiteness from a historical standpoint, I'm not talking about ethnicity, I'm not talking about your Scottish or Scandinavian roots, I'm talking about whiteness. Whiteness from a historical standpoint, maybe you don't want to be reminded of that.
Next month is Pride Month, and I have decided that I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to display it outside my house. So if you live in Havasu and you drive by the house with the big rainbow flag, that's me. Hi. Yeah. You can come say hi. It's okay. Anyway, I was at Goodwill the other day, and I just wanted to say props to Goodwill. And I don't say that very often, but I went in there because my mother-in-law wanted to go shopping, and why not? I found a soda stream, by the way, for like 70% off Amazon price, so I thought it was a steal. Anyway, I just liked the fact that their employees have their pronouns on their name tags. You know, he, they, she, her, them. They have their pronouns. And I really respect that. And I think all businesses should do that, because that way you don't have to guess and you don't have to offend anybody. Anyway, happy almost Pride Month.
What is the worst insult for a man? I'll go first. I think the worst insult for a man, like something to be called, is to be called a coward. Because based on our society of masculinity, toxic masculinity, I feel like a man is expected to be a provider, a defender, a supporter, making sure everyone is safe. That's what a man is labeled as. Someone who will jump in the time of action, defend the weak, and all that jazz. Calling them a coward is like saying, hey, you suck at all those things. You're the worst at all those things. You're not doing any of those things. And that sucks. Am I wrong? Let me know.
I have a thought. Now, I know the trolls are going to be like, uh-oh, she should have stopped there. But I'm not going to do that. So there's a lot of controversy about whether or not sex education, health education, relationships, gender, all that stuff should be taught in the classroom. Here's what I think. You as in parents, send their kids to school to learn math, reading, writing, history, science from a professional, right? But in the same token, a lot of people who do that also think that they're experts in sexuality education because they've had kids. With all due respect, just because you had kids does not mean that you are a sexuality education expert. It does not mean you are an expert in sex. It does not mean you are an expert in the body. It does not mean you are an expert in gender. It does not mean you are an expert in relationships. So the same way that we're sending our kids to school to learn these skills, these life skills like math and quadratic equations and calculus and whatever else from a professional, we also need to be ensuring that our students are learning information about their health, about identity, about very complex issues from a professional. I mean, like, it makes sense. It makes sense.